feels heavy and the road is long. You've been holding on, trying to stay strong. Doctors and paperwork, so much to face. But here you found a safer place. You're not alone, we're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride. With knowledge, care, and a voice that's true, the Disability Digest is here for you. We've walked the path, we've heard the fight. We know the pain that hides from sight. But every story matters, every win is real. Together we rise, together we heal. You're not alone, we're standing by your side, helping you through every twist in the ride. With knowledge, care, and a voice that's true, the Disability Digest is here for you.
Greetings, everybody. Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest. Welcome to our Wednesday YouTube live event. My special guest is here, Mr. Philip Price. Thank you, Philip, for joining.
Glad to be here.
Yes, we have a bit of a throwback theme type event for you today. It's just Philip and I. Nadine is off. But we're going to do a Q&A. We've collected some questions, and we look forward to hearing from you with anything that we may be able to address for you today here at the Disability Digest. So if you're new here or haven't been here in a while, welcome. The focus of these events are to help you understand and get answers to questions pertaining to getting approved for your Social Security disability benefits and staying approved. That is the area where I feel we are the most proficient. So, and we provide a variety of resources at the Disability Digest with these type things. Like we have a membership that's no cost that gives you a customized approach. Philip operates in support of all of this, arguably the largest, fastest growing Facebook group for those that are in pursuit of their disability benefits to get some support and connect with others. So that's our partnership. So thank you for doing what you do.
You bet.
All right. So if you're out there on TikTok, welcome. Facebook, YouTube, wherever else you might be participating, you are welcome to enter your questions. And this week is the first time that I'm actually going to be able to monitor the questions on TikTok. So if you have questions throughout today's program, feel free to enter those. Before we get going and at the end, a few things I want to share with you. Here at the Disability Digest, as I mentioned, we help you get approved, stay approved. And we're blessed that our business is growing. And as a result of that, we are looking to hire. Ideally, disability recipients. Those of you that are already receiving disability benefits, we have advocate positions that are available here where you can work part-time on flexible hours. You can earn money and keep all of your disability benefits. We've been having this type of work positions for 2007. And so the reason why I want to bring this out is if you're looking for work or considering it and now or 2026, we would love to have you consider the Disability Digest as a place for you to bring your talents. So I'm going to put in the YouTube chat a link to the advocate page. Encourage you to wait until the end of the show before you go through and learn more and apply. So that is definitely one thing. And one of the things I want to share with you why we are excited about and continue to have disability recipients work here, because the work that you do is helping others either get approved or stay approved. And as a disability recipient yourself, if you are, then you have built-in empathy and understanding for the challenges and the struggles that most experience, unless you just absolutely breezed through every aspect of this, which I'd love to meet you if you did. So that's one thing. And the second thing is that I want to share with everybody is we are doing some work to try to find out if there's a better value that we can bring to you, or there's things that we could better serve you with. And what I mean by this is there's new technology out there that can allow you to provide better evidence into your medical records, which is a critical part of getting your disability and keeping your disability benefits. And that's personal devices. Like this is a Whoop band, but it could be an Oura ring, it could be an Apple Watch. There's a variety of them. And it can monitor your sleep. And one of the key components of any of these devices is when you go and communicate with your doctor your limitations, and you say, Doc, I'm not sleeping very good. I'm only sleeping like 4 hours a night. And the doc's like, well, how do I know? And oftentimes they're apprehensive to put that into your medical records, which is critically important. Um, and by having the data from this that you can export and bring to your doctor, it makes it much more convincing. Now you can do this with other things. Let's say that you are doing something strenuous, like you tried to vacuum for 30 minutes, and the impact of that effort shows up in your tracker. And you can bring that data in that, listen, I can only vacuum for like 30 minutes. And this is one of the questions that you could be asked when you go through the disability approval process. So things like that. So what we are doing is just a survey at this point. We want to know if you're using one of these. If you are, great. A little feedback would be helpful. If you're not, would you be interested in learning more? There's other aspects and benefits of this as well. This could potentially save you from doing some doctoring. Like I was recently, through my primary care, suggested to get a sleep study. And I'm like, I have that data tracked on here. So I showed it, and they're like, no, you don't need to go. You're sleeping fine. So it could save you for some doctor's appointments. So if you take a few moments to fill out the survey, that's the long story short on this. I'm going to put the link in the YouTube chat as well. All right, so here is the protocol for today. Philip has collected some questions from his group. I have a series of questions that I have collected. We're going to address those. And in the meantime, if you have questions wherever you are, you can put them in the chat, and then we'll move on to those questions. So let's roll. You ready, Philip?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right. First question from Robert says, I am a 100% disabled veteran, permanent and total with 100% rating from PTSD.
Okay.
I'm told by SSA that I need to have a psychiatric evaluation done for their raters to make an accurate decision.
Mm-hmm.
And will not accept a diagnosis from a third-party psychiatrist that the VA hired, no less, as sufficient evidence of my disability. The SSA still hasn't scheduled me for exam and even advised me to seek an evaluation at my own cost. Does anyone have any advice about how to best proceed? I filed in July of 2025 and requested my file to be expedited under the Wounded Warrior program,
Right.
but medical evaluation still hasn't been utilized. Any input would be greatly appreciated.
Sure. When did he start again, Philip?
July of 2025. wait a minute, I filed in July of 25.
All right.
So,
The expedite should get you a decision in 4 to 5 months instead of like 8. Yeah.
yeah.
You have any tips for him before I
So
start digging
on
into this one?
let me go back here. On the psychiatric, I can't say it.
Psychiatric. It's a tricky one.
Evaluation, is that something that usually is part of the first evaluation with veterans?
Well, not all, but the fact that he has, PTSD is a brain-related condition or mental health condition. That's why he's being sent for it.
Yeah.
But it does happen. It's not uncommon even for civilians to go. Yeah. So here's a few things to keep in mind. Just because you have the 100% even P&T ratings, these are some of the most difficult cases to get approved. It's been my 2 decades of experience. So in this particular situation, you definitely want to roll forward and follow the evaluation process. The key point of this is that they want to look at and evaluate your situation that you're in to see if it lines up with your medical records and the limitations in your medical records. And there's a variety of really key steps, not a variety, there's several key steps that you want to go through and make sure that you follow when you go to this. And first of all, I applaud you for bringing up the question. I'm going to give you a few. The rest of them you can get as a member. You can get into our disability approval course, and then it's in section 3 is where you'll have all of them. But here's a few. One is you don't want to go alone, even if you think you can go alone. It's the kiss of death for these things because it's your word against theirs, and bringing somebody that can document, ideally record what goes on, holds them accountable. Even if you think they have your medical records, you want to bring in your medical history as much as you can. If it takes a wheelbarrow to bring it in there, and just say, listen, this is the history of my condition. If you're going to evaluate me, then I'd like to be evaluated on everything. If you can't bring in everything, bring in a summary, your most recent, the key conditions that you have. Those are 2. There's like 5 other key ones. So with the Disability Digest, if you're not a member, you can, I'll put a link in the chat here. You can join us as a member. There's no cost. After you complete your profile, it will direct you into an advocate like Philip or others, and they will help you better understand some of the things that you want to be aware of, put you into the disability approval course, and then you can get access to that and several other things. What you should also be doing in addition to that is making sure that you get doctor support in writing, the residual functional capacity reports that are in the approval course. It'll make a big difference for your case because the VA, those case files, like I've seen like 7, 8, 9,000 pages of records in these things. They're massive, and it's hard for Social Security to see. But if you have one document from your doctor that's signed that confirms that you're being treated, what their opinion is on your limitations, and how many days a month on average you would miss work, it cuts through all the noise. Yeah. So good question.
Okay. Next one here from Anonymous says, question about remanded hearings.
Yep.
I had a remanded hearing on October the 7th, and I called in on November the 10th, and they said the judge had made a decision. On November the 6th, I was also told that the judge approved it, and it was sent to the payment center. I checked the website today, and it says it's on step 2 of 5. I'm kind of confused. I thought the step 2 meant they are checking your medical to see if you qualify. What does all this mean? Also, to add more info, while my initial claim was in the U.S. District Court, where they were deciding if it should be remanded, I filed an appeal, which I was advised to do so. I don't know if that's causing any issues.
Yeah, this is a really interesting one. So first of all, you want to get an award letter from your from the hearing office. And once you have the award letter, you'll have the real deal. And it could be that the appeal that you submitted, I don't know what the step two is. That's really, if you are outside of the appeals council and in a federal court, you can start another case. And that one could have been on step two. And then you win at federal appeals, then you get that one and you stop the other one or whatever you want to do. But I don't know about that step two. Get an award letter, track your payment down. Once you get paid, pop the court, celebrate, move on. If you're a member here, you want to let us know so we can update your membership, and then we can start delivering information to you that will help you understand like what you're entitled to, how to keep your benefits, things like that.
Yeah. That's most important, how to keep your benefits once you're approved.
Yeah. Don't be one of the 144,000 that have their benefits removed.
Yeah. All right. This one comes from Aaron. Says, when my review comes up, do I have to send them the doctor's note since my approval? I have moved to a different state since then, so I have all my new doctors.
All right. Well, don't know yet, because if you are successful when you receive your review, then they're not going to request medical records. They'll simply send you a short form, long form, you fill it out and send it in and done. Now, if they do request medical records, they will send you a form and ask you to put all of your treating sources in. It's usually they want to see like the last 2 years. So if you have been moved like a year ago, then you'll need to include both locales. Yeah. At the Disability Digest for members that join us, we have a comprehensive course on how to prepare and survive your continuing disability review, put together by none other than our resident expert, attorney James Mitchell Brown. So when you register, which by the way, in the YouTube chat, I put a link to the Disability Digest. You click on that, look for the green button, and you can join us here. But once you do, if you're approved, and that's in your profile, then you'll get that course on day 7 after joining. If you need it before, just contact support.
Okay. I have a question about the continuing disability reviews. What is the difference between a long form and a short form? And is there a or which one would you, or which one would be the best one to receive, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
The best one to receive is none, but that's not one of your options. Short form is the best one to receive, and the Trump administration has increased the funding by 52 or $55 million annually to do more long forms. And the long forms are the ones that they're digging. They're asking for more information. So yeah, that's the one you don't want.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. This next one comes from Alex. Says, after Social Security obtains my medical records, do I just continue to send them the medical record from future appointments after each appointment? Or do I let them collect and then submit for my claim? I see my providers regularly.
This is a good one. Folks, if you're applying for disability benefits, don't miss this one because it can totally screw up your case. So here's the deal. Um, Going to the doctors for regular visits is expected through the approval process and actually when you're approved. And if you send in your like regular visit to them, that, and this is just from my years of experience and seeing how it's impacted cases, that's of no value. It's actually detrimental to your case, in my opinion, to send in just normal visits. Okay. Here's why. Um, you want to have a really clean case file that shows your medical records that somebody can go in from Social Security and evaluate and clearly see the good stuff. Those updates are just updates. Now, let's roll it forward a little bit. Let's say you have a disability representative. Now, it is an obligation of a disability representative like me or anybody else who does this work to submit all evidence that you provide. So we've got one guy, he just doesn't take no for an answer. We've told him, don't send it to us because we've got to put it in your case file and it's going to screw things up. Yesterday there was two. So it's just not good for your case to do that. That's my position on it. Just the good stuff, your treatment records, and then ideally your additional evidence like your RFCs, your third parties, videos that you take of yourself, things that really are going to communicate your limitations. Love that question. That's a good one.
Okay. This is the last one for the group today, and this one has something to do with workman's comp case.
Yep.
Sally says, I may be getting my late husband's settlement payment. Do I need to tell Social Security about this on my paperwork? Will it affect my process in getting approved? I guess she's applying for disability.
No, it won't. Now, if that was her own workers' compensation, it would, because what you're paid in workers' compensation income can offset your Social Security back pay, especially, but it's her husband's. No.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, if you've got questions, we can move to yours.
I do. I have 7 that I've selected for this week's event. Now, if you're out there, I'm going to roll through another segment of questions, and then we'll take some from the audience. TikTok, Philip did Facebook, YouTube. So just enter them into the comments. We'll get to those momentarily. All right. So here we go in no particular order. Does working part-time automatically trigger a disability review or increase my risk of losing my disability benefits? All right. You have an opinion on this one, Philip?
Repeat it one more time.
Does working part-time automatically trigger a disability review or increase my risk of losing benefits?
Working part-time, I guess it would matter on how many hours you're working and the work you're doing.
Yep. Yep.
So yes, it could.
It could if you're earning like close to the allowed amount, or definitely if you're over it. So here's my position on this from experience here at the Disability Digest since 2007. As I mentioned, I believe at the top of the program, we've had disability recipients work here, and some have been reviewed, but nobody has lost their benefits because they work part-time, they stay decently below the allowed amount. I am a huge proponent of working if you can do that. So for sure, that's my position.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens if Social Security requests records from a doctor that I am no longer seeing and they don't respond? That's a tough one. unless you can go there and knock and get involved, there really isn't anything you can do. So something to be aware of as you're going through the disability approval process, or like this individual that just changed doctors, it's good to keep a rapport with them, stay in contact in case they're needed, at least for a 24-month window going back. That's the most critical. This one said years. I don't know. All right. Next one I have is, how can I prove limitations from conditions that fluctuate day to day, especially on conditions like chronic pain, depression, mental health? Well, I was kind of getting to that, not kind of, I was getting to that with the tracker, because there's certainly some tracking components of that that you can get, record, and get into your medical records. But aside from that, one of the things I encourage people to think about is your bad days. So, for example, if you have chronic pain and you have a bad day, what does it mean that, what is a bad day like? Like, can you get out of bed? If so, for how many hours? And if you can stand, like, what's that like? And maybe a bad day is, I've got to stay in bed flat on my back, and it might take me 2 days to recover. So that's how you would document that. It could be the same for depression, because oftentimes if you have significant depression, you want to just lock yourself in the room, totally dark, and play Mozart. So really think about the bad days. One of the key questions to prove that you qualify and to keep your benefits is on these residual functional capacity reports, which is how many days on average would you miss work. It needs to come from your medical provider. But if it's 3 or more days that you have like chronic pain, that 3 or more days a month on average, you're in bed, you're not employable. So you need to get that into your medical records. Okay. Some good questions here.
I have a question on that.
Yep,
Is if you keep your own daily journal, is that submittable?
sure,
You know,
sure. But they can question it. It's
yeah.
really, it's like, um, but you need to get your doctor to buy off on it. Patient reports. Yeah.
Okay.
Here's one that's more on the optimistic side. I'm feeling better, but I've not been reviewed. I'm concerned that if I am reviewed, I will be denied.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this could be put in like a few different ways. Um, let's say somebody's not feeling good, but they're still, reviewed. And this was an actual conversation that I had with somebody. So my advice was this. I said, put yourself in an active environment so that you can test and document how your body behaves. That could be volunteering. Like last week, we had an interview with the Alzheimer's Association about some of the things that we all should be watching out for about precursors to Alzheimer's dementia. But one of the things you could do is you could volunteer for the Alzheimer's Association or the Centers for Independent Living. And if you did that 10 or 15 hours a week and you documented how it impacts your body, then you're going to know. Maybe you could work. Maybe you're not able to work. And that is one way to prove it. Now, I also believe, I have another question in here about seasonal work, which kind of ties into this. This time of year, there's a lot of part-time jobs. Like there's a flannel store, and this is their peak season. And when it's done, it's done. January's got some returns. So if you want to test working, there's a lot of like part-time jobs out there. Or if you're going through the disability approval process and you want to test the time to work, that's another application that's kind of sort of like this. But I tell people, if you've been denied at the initial application, the chances of getting approved at reconsideration are very low. If you want to test how your body performs, that's a good time to do it. go try to work. I mean, if you can make it work for 30 days, great, you get a little extra income. And if it doesn't work, you document it and you put that in your case file. It's like, hey, I tried to work again. I can't do it. And again, the chances of getting approved there are very low. And all they're doing is reevaluating your initial application. It's not like a whole new evaluation on your case. So there's some times where you should really consider like testing, documenting, getting that into your records. Okay. How should I respond when SSA asks me for activities of daily living, but mine vary depending on the day? Now, again, you can use the bad day, right? But here's another way to look at it. You're asked about cooking. That's a common question. Cleaning is another one. And what we have learned from the experts is if you put, yeah, I can cook, then it's setting you up to communicate to Social Security that you can cook. And whatever their interpretation of cooking is what you get, right? You could be a line cook or you can work. But if it's provided with some details so that it could be quantified, such as, sometimes maybe 2 to 3 times a week, I can cook something basic for dinner like egg, toast, glass of milk, right? That's clear for Social Security to understand. It doesn't take long to do that. You can do it only 2 to 3 times a week. So be aware again of how to communicate. Okay. Here's one. It says if SSA, Social Security, denies me after a review, so somebody's gone for a continuing disability review and they get denied. What are the realistic odds of winning an appeal and how fast should I act? I don't have a lot of data on this. I know from here at the Disability Digest, we have a benefit protection program for those that are members working with an advocate and they're managing their health care, their Medicare, advising them on it. It's a totally no charge service, but it comes with a layer of protection so that when you get your continuing disability review and it gets denied, then our legal team will step in and help resolve it. So we have had less than 1% of the people that are in this benefit protection program actually get denied, and we've overturned it. So that's the only data set that I have to work with that. And I do know that 144,000 people a year lose their benefits commonly because of this. Don't have an exact answer on that. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay, here's the last one that I have, then we're going to move on. If you've been here for a few weeks, you've likely heard us talk about the importance, critical importance of getting good evidence in your medical records, which is communicating your limitations and getting these RFCs, doctor support forms. So here's a question. What advice do you have to help me to get my doctor to complete the residual functional capacity report? Now, not all doctors are willing to help you out and complete these, especially if you're in California and you're going to Kaiser. They want no part of any extra work. And some doctors just don't understand the value of these. So this is the best advice that I have. When you come here to the Disability Digest and you get into the disability approval course, you get access to an interview that helps you understand the importance of these and access to the forms, cover letters that you can fill out and bring to your doctor. When you bring these to your doctor, it is important for you to understand your limitations. Your sit, stand, sleep, bend, stoop, lift, whatever they are. And to communicate those to the doctor in a form like this. I'm just going to give you a real brief example. Say, Doc, listen, I understand you don't want to fill those out, but I want you to understand this. You've been treating me. and I'm not able to work. I can't sit for 15 minutes. I can't stand for more than 20 minutes. And the pain is so bad, I'm only sleeping 5 hours a night. Financially, I have no options but to apply for disability. And you are the gateway to helping me do it. I need to prove to Social Security that these limitations are real because I am treating you. Now, there's a much deeper level of this that we provide our members here at the Disability Digest to go in with what needs to be proved and what the limitations are. But for sake of example, when you talk to them, person to person, like, hey, I'm the person that you're treating here, and tell them what the deal is, your income depends on it, you're not able to work, and what the limitations are, that will help you put your best foot forward to get these done. They still could say no, but that's really the best you can do. The other thing is just be polite, persistent, and professional in doing that. They are so important. Okay. Let's see what is going on out here for questions. If you are on TikTok, you can enter it in if you haven't already. All right. And over on YouTube, I see that we have some questions here as well. Boy, I miss having Nadine here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I've been on SSDI for a year. When can I expect my review? Well, it usually is outlined in your award letter, but it's going to depend on the severity of your condition. And some are like in the 18-month range, 0 to 18, or 3 to 5 is the most common. And there are some conditions that have no possible medical improvement. These are very few now, usually terminal cases. But I'd look at your award letter and see if it's indicated in there. And if it's not, I would not call Social Security.
Don't
Don't
rock.
call and say, hey,
Yeah.
I haven't had my review yet. Would you send me one? Don't do that. Yeah. Okay. Social Security for over 25 years, just looking to keep the benefits that I have. I don't blame you. I recently asked you about the federal quality review, and now I've moved to step 4, and it says a local representative has started the final review. So what do you suggest? You really don't know anything yet. So the federal review is a quality control review where your case is picked out of one out of however many, and it's sent off to be evaluated. And they're just looking to make sure that that decision is in line with the regulations, but we don't know what the decision was. So it's really neutral. And based on the information that I have here, until you get like you've been approved or denied, uh, I, there isn't anything that I know that I could add to that. I am uncomfortable taking some recommended medications for my muscular pain, fibromyalgia. Is this going to ding me in my application? I like the question, how you posed it. It won't ding you if you treat it properly. So this is a really good one, and not just for applicants, for anybody. There, in most, I hear the term like pill pushers and other things about doctors when they want to solve a problem or get you down the road, they're going to get you on a medication. But if you don't like it and it's not working for you, then you have a conversation with your doctor. And it could be something like this. Doc, I understand for the fibromyalgia, you prescribe me this because I've got this wicked brain fog. But when I take it, it makes my stomach upset and I just don't feel well. Or when I take it, I am such a zombie because it's so intense. I cannot relate. It's not worth it. And I don't feel it's the best thing for me. And so the doctor could either eliminate it or try an alternative. What you don't want to do is just stop taking it, because if you have a review or you're trying to get approved and Social Security expects you to take that so you would feel better, so ideally you could work, you're in a real predicament. Pain management is another one that gets people. sent to pain management. People leave there feeling far worse than they were when they started. So you need to communicate that. All right. Okay. I had a C spine surgery on my L spine is narrowing. I'm currently have a catheter due to my spine. I can't walk more than 200 feet. This is a statement. So what I like about the statement is it says I can't walk more than 200 feet before I get tired and fatigued, even with my walker. But you could roll that forward and put in more limitations. I expect you could sit down and you're going to have some discomfort for a matter of minutes. So keep rolling with those quantifiable limitations that you have there. Okay, this one says this country has no men at all. I can attest that I truly feel I'm a man. I don't know where we're going with that one, but worth a comment. I've taken pictures and videos to show things like pressure points, wounds, limitations, just in case I need them for the future. I'm not sure if that is helpful. I can share with you that it's made a significant difference for individuals that we have represented here to have videos of limitations. And it could even be, brain health ones where individuals were, be in a meeting with them and ask them a series of questions and something would trigger. Or it could be done on your own where you have a challenge like moving, walking, getting up. And short videos, less than 30 seconds. You really do need to have, maybe you can load this through your My SSA now, I don't know. But typically, we prefer to have them submitted if we're working on the case directly so we can put an explanation with it and then load it to the case file. That stuff is really helpful because they're not able to see you. It's just really what's in the medical records. Okay, I can't stand up for more than 5 minutes. Good. I can't sit down for more than 10 without putting my feet up. Can't walk more than 100 feet. That's a really good, short, concise statement. Good for you. How does SSA's case progression line up with DDS, i.e., what does 4 on the portal equal in the overall process? You know, 4 means you're close to 5, and after 5, you're done and out. It's the best I can share with you. I don't know exactly what they do at each step on that. For me, it doesn't line up with the 5-step evaluation process. And I've asked this in a recent meeting with, industry expert, and they're not sure either. So I don't have much more for you on that one. Okay, is it true that if I had to take SS early and I get moved over to SSDI, I would get my full retirement amount back per month versus the lower I got? Now, let me explain it this way. Let's say your 62 early retirement amount is $1,500. Okay. And your Social Security disability amount is $2,000. It's usually like 40% difference. I'll just use this as simple math. And right now you're 63 and you take your Social Security early, but you're like, I can't work. And you can apply for disability. And when you get approved for disability, you would go from your 1,500 to your $2,000 check. There's a lot of people out there that stop working and just take their early retirement, not knowing that disability is an option for them. That's a good question. Okay, here's one. Is it best to return the SSA 27 by fax to the local office? I'm going to speak in general here. When you're returning documents to Social Security, you can fax it, but you need to have a confirmation that will hold up for proof because they lose stuff, believe it or not. I feel it's best to mail and request a signature and keep a copy so that when they say I lost it, then you can say, no, well, you signed for it. It's on you. All right. So that's it. All right, good. That wraps up the question part of the program today. So a few things I want to share with you as we wrap up that I talked about early in the beginning of the program is we are hiring here at the Disability Digest. And earlier in the chat, I put in the advocate position. If you're looking for something to do, make some money, make a difference, we'd love to have you consider working here at the Disability Digest. Also, we would love to get your feedback on more research about how using a wearable like this could help you get your benefits approved and help you stay approved by the data that it collects on sleep, heart, strain, other things. So there's a survey in there, right? Okay, Philip, how do we do today, my friend?
I think we did great.
Yeah, all right.
Wait for to get
Yes.
how we did next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. Hopefully with the full team of Nadine here. We certainly miss her.
Yeah.
So let's see, we have this week or next week, we definitely have an event, and then it's going to become, we have a couple things that conflict with Wednesdays, but we'll keep you posted. If you just monitor the YouTube channel, you see the live pop up the day before, but we'll definitely be back here next week for sure. So, and again, if you are watching this event and you're thinking that, oh gosh, I listen to these guys, I know everything I need to know. Well, that's great. It means we did a really good job, but that's actually not the truth. These are just informational snippets. You heard some questions in some general areas. The best way we can help you is if you join us as a member. There's no cost for your membership. And the reason why it is the best way that we can help you is once you fill out your profile, which I thought I had this set up here. Maybe this is it over here. This green button right here, you click on this and you fill out your profile. Then that helps us understand, like, are you approved, not approved, where you're at in the country, where you're at in the process, what your needs are. Then that information goes in. You get to actually talk to somebody that will welcome you with your membership, answer any questions, get you into the right courses that you have. It'd be great if we had a questionnaire that could answer everything and we could get really down, get it down to know your needs. It just doesn't work that way. So that's how the membership works. And yes, there is no cost for this. It's always been that way. And we are supported by ads and sponsors and services so we can keep the content coming and these live events and the things that we do. So we hope you found value in this. And if you did, share it. Tell others about the work that we do. All right, good. That's a wrap for today, Philip. Thanks again for helping out. Appreciate it.
All right.
Everybody out there, guys.